tens of thousands of people have streamed across the US-Canada border illegally since January 2017 after Justin Trudeau put out his infamous #WelcomeToCanada tweet after the American president made some changes to their immigration policy. Now, these people are illegally crossing the border because they know that there is something called the Safe Third Country Agreement. This agreement is an agreement between the United States and Canada which says that people can't enter one of our countries and then claim asylum or refugee status in the other because they've already reached a safe country. Now, that agreement does not apply. There's a loophole if you illegally cross the border. This is why the Conservative Party of Canada, under our leader Andrew Scheer, and myself as the opposition's shadow minister for citizenship and immigration, have been calling on Justin Trudeau for over a year to go to the American government and renegotiate this agreement to have it apply to the entire border. It's in the best interest of both of our countries because we know that the United States of America is essentially being used as a waypoint right now for people to come into the US. It's sometimes easier to get a visa to go in there and then cross the border into Canada because we have a very generous social program system and claim asylum. Now, the government has steadfastly refused this policy option. They have refused to even acknowledge that it's something that's reasonable. I want you to watch just a sampling of the responses that the government has given when I've asked them if they would close the loophole in this agreement. And it's important. Watch this.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there's another issue that the Prime Minister has done nothing to address, and that's the issue of illegal border crossers at Canada's U.S. land border. These people are flooding across the border. Our border services agents are feeling the pinch, and community members are actually starting to feel frightened about the level of people that are coming across. Will the Prime Minister commit today to giving people the tools that they need by closing the loophole on the Safe Third Country Agreement, preventing this problem from occurring this summer?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
While the rest of the world closes off its borders against newcomers, we're proud that Canadians have continued to be welcoming and opening.
The Liberals have admitted that a record 40,000 people will make asylum claims to Canada this year. Many of these claims will be made by people illegally crossing the U.S.-Canada border, and many of these claims will be found invalid. News reports show that the cost of processing these claims alone, never mind these social assistance payments, is projected to be over $500 million.
Shameful.
Will the Liberals close the loophole in the Safe Third Country Agreement, or is the government's new tax on small businesses going to pay for the cost of these false asylum claims?
The Minister of Immigration.
Speaker, the Safe Third Country Agreement is not about denying asylum. It's about an agreement between the United States and Canada on the orderly processing of asylum claimants.
The Minister makes it sound like Canadians aren't generous if they simply stand up for their right to have our border integrity secured. Recent media reports have said that over half of the illegal border crossers have serious criminal records. This puts CBSA, RCMP, and community members in the area, their safety at risk, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, my question is very clear. There's a way that we can stop this, and it's by closing the loophole in the Safe Third Country Agreement. Why has this minister failed to act?
Honourable Minister of Immigration.
Agreement numerous times, but I'll now quote the head of the UNHCR in Canada. I really think that the conditions which prevailed at the time of the drafting and the adoption of the Safe Third Country Agreement in 2004 are the same as they are today, and it will be difficult to change a policy that is seen as good cooperation, good responsibility sharing between two systems that have the same values and the same procedural guarantees.
That's irrelevant to my question. I'll proceed onwards. Last time you appeared before committee, I asked you if you had asked the Americans to renegotiate the loophole in the Safe Third Country Agreement that allows people to illegally enter the country and claim asylum. Have you broached that topic since your last appearance with the American government?
I contest the notion that Safe Third Country Agreement somehow allows people to enter Canada illegally. I don't think.
Well, it actually does allow people to illegally enter the country and claim asylum. So I will ask my question again. Since the last time you came, and since we've seen thousands of more people utilize this loophole, have you broached with the American government the renegotiation of the Safe Third Agreement, a country agreement, specifically with regard to this loophole that allows this situation to
There
occur.
are no formal negotiations on the Safe Third Country Agreement.
Will the minister take the Conservative Party's advice and ask the Americans to close the loophole in the Safe Third Country Agreement and concurrently explore legislation that would deem the entire Canadian border a technical official point of entry for the purposes of enforcing the Safe Third Country Agreement?
The Honourable Minister of Immigration.
Mr. Chair, transforming the whole border into a port of entry would be impractical in terms of providing border and immigration services along its entire length, which is 9,000 kilometers.
Mr. Speaker, the Safe Third Country Agreement acknowledges that we shouldn't allow border shopping between the U.S. and Canada border, number one. Second, the minister does not acknowledge the fact that the IRB is not processing claims in a timely manner, and this is going to cost Canadians billions of dollars, and it's preventing people like Yazidi genocide survivors from coming to Canada. So why is the government, when they're looking at 300,000 more people in the same situation in the United States, not closing the loophole in the Safe Third Country Agreement?
Honourable Minister of Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, the Safe Third Country Agreement is an agreement that works fantastically well for Canada.
So, it's pretty clear what the government's response under Justin Trudeau has been over the last year. They don't want to close this agreement. But here's the problem. More and more people have been illegally crossing the border. The problem is getting worse. And Justin Trudeau is having to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to pay for the welfare, housing, the homeless shelters that are over capacity in Toronto. Just today he announced another $50 million after the budget was already voted on. I could go on and on. In fact, like some provincial governments are asking for illegal migrants to be put to other parts of the country, and this isn't planned immigration. We know that there's a lot of new Canadians. Many of you that are watching today probably are Canadians who have legally come to Canada. You've gone through all the processes. You're building a new life in Canada. That's awesome. But some of you will have family members that you're trying to legally sponsor into the country, or you're waiting for a permanent resident card yourself. All of those resources that Justin Trudeau are pouring into this crisis are causing immigration backlogs, and it's costing Canadian taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars that we just don't have. So, Minister of Immigration was asked point blank on CBC, now that we know that there's going to be upwards of 400 people per day coming into the country at the Roxham Road border crossing illegally. Watch what he had to say last night under severe questioning.
Problem is the 14-year-old agreement does not cover folks who cross between ports of entry, and that is part of the discussions that we will have with Secretary Nielsen.
Isn't that interesting? So after extreme pressure from the CBC, of all places, the minister just acknowledged what the leader of our party, Andrew Scheer, and I have been saying for over a year, and that's that in order to stop this problem, the Safe Third Country Agreement will need to be renegotiated and that loophole closed. The problem is that they have known that this is a problem. They know that this has been the fix that needs to be put forward, but they've taken no action to actually do it. And we're headed into the summer months with their government officials telling them that there could be up to 400 people per day illegally crossing the border at Roxham Road. How irresponsible is it to know that there's a problem, to know what the solution is, and then not take any action to do it? That's the hallmark of Justin Trudeau. He can't be trusted to do much of anything. I haven't seen him successfully manage much, except to fail, that is. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Let me know what you think, and continue to share these videos to show Canadians the truth. Justin Trudeau cannot be trusted to manage a planned, orderly migration system that supports the world's most vulnerable or prioritizes people who are legally trying to come to the country. Working hard for you in Ottawa. Have a great day.